Hello everyone and welcome to the Wolfszeit channel. Today with a very special topic. Always special. Henrik showed the roadmap point, so I summarized the whole thing because cutting this would take too much time. I could explain in a few sentences. First off, Henrik's statement.
We've been spending a lot of focus on performance as one of the big things. As you all now know, Unreal Engine 5, this will be a very huge milestone, being the world first MMORPG on this technology, Unreal Engine 5. And you know, Unreal 5 comes with a huge update, especially when it comes to how to illuminate the game world, making it much more realistic and beautiful. And along with that usually comes some requirements on hardware, which means, you know, obviously it comes at a small baseline increased cost of various things when it comes to utilizing this technology. So we worked very hard to make sure that client performance is as good as possible. And you guys helped us out with a battle test. What was it, 2 patches ago, right? The first battle, we identified stalls, CPU stalls, where people froze during mid-combats, if you remember what I'm talking about, if you were here in that test, which obviously raised some concerns when it comes to battle experience, right? So we put all hands on identifying that. So we had a debug client. So with your help, we identified those bottlenecks and different things causing the stalls. And the patch we went on PTR yesterday had those fixes in it, and you guys were very helpful again to pretty much confirm our possible fixes, and it seems like you got the same confirmation result as we did, which means very smooth experience in mid-combat as well.
So just to make it short, this is just the list of things we can all vote on. And the votes will come later, Henrik said, but it's not sure if it's in-game votes, if you have to log in to actually vote, or if it's a forum vote or something like that. Maybe even a vote on the website with a verified account that you have actually bought the game in order to be able to vote. That would be awesome. So, by the way, the main features here. The wagon system for transporting a lot of shit, also transporting people, building caravans and stuff, fighting from a wagon, not sure. The veteran system will give you more skill points, not attribute points, skill points, in action or profession skills. This comes after you reached Clade level 20, and then you can gather veteran points. The dimension run, this is basically very interesting. It's dark and darker. Just you can place a portal, for example, in your city, in your territory control city, and you can sign up there for a fight. Then you can go through the portal and you are in another dimension, which is more or less the Mortal Arena mode. I just call it the Mortal Arena mode because it's basically the gameplay of dark and darker. 2 teams, each 5 players go in there, slaughtering each other. 1 team goes out, or 1 player goes out and wins. Then the diva system. This is the second character slot. So this is basically the characters sharing the same reputation, but you can log in 2 different characters. Not at the same time, of course. The thievery system, that you can steal something from other people's inventories. I also made a dedicated video for that. Not a lot of people found that very useful, that system. At least the Immortal Online 1, the majority of people said it was shit. Then the Tindrum Arena with a ladder ranking system. A lot of people asked for that. And yeah, we had that Immortal Online 1 and it was pretty bad, but this was not because the mechanic itself, the idea itself was bad, but the execution was just very bad. So you can sign up for fights, for example, you can sign up versus a PvE group, you can sign up versus another group, and you have some very interesting fights there. Farming, this was also Immortal Online 1, yeah, you could gather crops and, for example, grow your own salvia or seed or whatever the stuff you need, wherever you want, but it was dedicated to territory control, so you actually had to have a guild and stuff to do this farming. Maybe with houses this will change, but he was not sure. Then the breeding system, this is very awesome that you can breed your own mounts. And Henrik, the bull horses are still missing in the game, where you can breed the different mounts together or different animals together and getting different results. Also, each animal has its own stats, its own dexterity, its own strength and stuff, and this is was pretty unique. And also the colors of the skin and whatever the stuff was also completely unique, and you could actually breed horses that look like zebras or something like that, and it was very rare and very expensive. Then the dye system, that you could dye your armor and all the stuff you can wear. Some colors were pretty expensive to make. For example, Mortal 1, the most expensive color was blue. Guild logo and emblem system. This is what a lot of people asked for, but Henrik mentioned that we might not be able to upload our own logos, so we have to choose from predefined stuff, and I really hate the idea. I just hate the idea. If you have predefined logo shit, no. Just fucking no. I want their own logo. Every guild has to upload their own logo. Whatever the fuck. Verify it with a dev, verify it with a GM, I don't know. But give us the option to make our own logos, emblems, and capes and stuff. No predefined shit like any other game. In every other game I see predefined shit. No one wants that. No one. Then a big old meme, boats. Yeah, without a second continent, boats doesn't make any sense in my opinion. Henry also talked about the sailing skills, and that you can have real life sailing skills and you can take it in practice there. And I don't even want to talk about boats because it's so far away. It's so damn away. I don't even want to talk about that. Then the combat features, the adrenaline system. The more damage you get, the more damage you can deal, or the more stats buff, the more buffs you get. This ties in with the special moves and the special abilities, because you need adrenaline points in order to make special moves and special abilities and stuff like that. There will be special moves and special abilities for every weapon group, even the bows. This is basically hit combo and queuing stuff of your inputs, so just an improvement more or less. Depends on how it plays out. If you're doing a feint and stuff, and you can still have the counter charge, for example, the parry charge and stuff like that. I don't know if I really understand that correctly, but I watched it 2 times and I don't get it. And stamina gain on successful parry. I bet this change is not the best, because people who can already parry very good can even getting a lot stronger. And also people are using blocking macros and stuff, and also automatic stuff, which is bannable. And please don't do that. Don't do stuff like that. Cheating in an online game, exploiting in an online game, or macroing in an online game is fucking shit. You should never do that. And if you do that, I really hope you get banned. So tavern games like poker and blackjack. Then the face over IP function. This is basically you have a webcam in front of you and it's tracking your face movements, and the face movements getting transferred on your character in game. So basically, if you blink, if you have your eye open, if you raise your eyebrow, if you whatever doing with your head, it gets transferred into in-game. This actually works because Henrik showed an example of that a lot of months ago. Then VR support, but just with mouse and keyboard, so you can just move your head in game, just for example. And Henrik said that they could also build up on that and making maybe full VR support someday. Then we have player gear. This is pretty self-explanatory. A lot of new weapons, the crossbows, the throwing weapons, and Henrik even said the throwing weapons are very easy to implement for them. A lot of new armor sets, dual wielding, offhand torch, and more mountable creatures. I often say creatures, but creatures, not creatures. I'm joking. Then for territorial control, the relic system. For example, a relic is dropping from the sky. You can't log out with the relic. You can't bank the relic. For example, a very rare sword. For example, also a relic like, for example, the pet relic. When the pet relic drops, for example, you're building a relic building in your TC base. You put the relic in there, and for example, a pet near that relic getting 1 level in 1 minute. Just as an example. And people and guilds will fight over these relics non-stop. So in Mortal Online 1, this was a very, very awesome thing. So I hope they will patch in a lot of relics so that we can fight over everything, because in Mortal Online 1, the most people just fought over the pet relic and the other stuff wasn't enough interesting. Then also very self-explanatory, a lot of new dungeons, a lot of new points of interest, and a lot new creatures. Okay, just to summarize it up, stealth magic. You can walk around like Gandalf from Lord of the Rings and throwing magic with your stick everywhere. Basically exactly what you imagine right now. So illusionism, you know what I mean. Basically distraction, massive distraction, also false info, false showing your character even if you are not there, or whatever stuff from the distance. Also something like illusionism, like you have a false pet with you and stuff like that, and the other guy thinks you have a big pet, but it's never there and stuff like this. Then animism, you can transform yourself into a bear, into a whatever creature, and then can play as that creature more or less, or a mix of I don't know, a bear and a human, or I don't know. Mentalism is basically porting or speedy movements and stuff like that. Like you can port short distances, it seems. You can go in a fight fast and easy and go out pretty easy, or stuff like this. This is very interesting for Velas and mage bangers. And harmonism, this is basically a magic school all around instruments. So you play instruments and stuff, and you can buff your group. You can, for example, debuff the enemies and stuff like that. So yeah, that's basically it. And the votes will start, I don't know, I guess after the patch, a few weeks after the patch, I guess, because they need to fix stuff, I think. I mean, every time when a patch comes, they need to fix stuff weeks after that. So I guess, yes, it could take up to a month, then the vote will start, or maybe when we will start the vote next week, I don't know. So please stay subscribed so that you are always informed. And also, please leave a like and subscribe as always. Thanks for watching. Please share it with your friends. And ring the bell. And special thanks to all the supporters, of course: Carmel, Professor Lukario, Rhonus, Paarthurnax, Cologne, Bulldog, Giovanni, Vargas, the RealMadWurst, Mip, Greta, you, and all the others, of course. And never forget to make your roadmap hard. I mean, party hard. Party hard. See you all next time. Goodbye.